Hello, hello. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Donna.
We're here sharing what we've learned as women, entrepreneurs, and moms.
All while rocking our curves with confidence.
It's a behind-the-scenes look at our lives and businesses.
And a chance to tell our younger selves, go do the things that scare you.
I hear a lot about AI. I think it's interesting. I think when you actually really know about it, it's interesting, but it's actually really scary.
It is very scary. It is. And so while we were away, there was something on about the CN Tower burning and how Google search had gone so incredibly crazy on whether or not the CN Tower was burning, and it was AI. It was an AI generated image, but it looked so real.
Nuts.
And it's like,
I know. What's real and what's not real.
It is, right?
There's a lot of that going around. Well, because I love everything reality. Housewives, 90 Day Fiance. There's a young woman on there who had a baby when she was with this man. Anyway, there's a picture that circulated on the weekend, and it was like pregnant with her second baby. So I sent it to my sister-in-law, and she sent it back to me last night and said it was AI generated. It wasn't real. I was like, what? It looks so real. She goes, original image, AI generated image.
Yeah, and it's going to be like you think about your parents. My parents, they're not going to be able to tell the difference.
My parents can. That already has happened.
We're not going to be able to tell the difference.
No.
Like that image of the CN Tower burning looked very real, like it was a news program.
It's crazy.
It is
scary. Like I said, I have experience with AI, not in a good way. I've had someone, using it for bad purposes towards my child. So after seeing that, I was like, I can't even tell what's real or not real. But I like learning about it. I think it's really interesting to learn about it. I think it's interesting to hear about it. It's interesting to know where it's going and how it can be used. And I didn't even know there was different AIs. I did not even know thought it was only one, ChatGPT. But now people are creating AIs for this or AI for that.
And now they have this word called AI agents, which is kind of like in my head and, very basic level understanding is kind of the little gremlins behind there that are doing the work. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you've created a position.
Yeah.
To go and you're telling it what to do, and that becomes your AI agent. And I could be totally off base with that, but that is what I think those AI agents are.
So out of this world.
And it's fascinating and scary as hell at the same time.
Even when Jim was talking about it that day, when we were talking about, so I created this to do this and do this, and I was like,
yeah, like to be, and the one thing that I have learned is that to develop, and we talk about this a lot at the office, right? Because one of my things with being having a staff is that I want to make sure that while they're with us, that they have grown in their skill sets. Yeah. Right. So when AI came in, especially our marketing crew, right, like that affects marketing a lot.
Yes, it does.
Right. So it's kind of like, okay, let's take some time and let's learn some things and let's do some things. And it's a gradual thing. And, if you're in your 20s or you're in your 60s, to not pay attention is wrong.
Yeah.
And it can help you, plan a trip. Like you can put in.
Yes.
Like, I am going to Lisbon for 4 days in this time of the year. I want to eat at 3 restaurants that are this star. I want to be, listen to authentic. And it will plan out your whole trip for you.
That's awesome. It's like when I use it for hockey, the same thing. I do use it a lot more for the hockey team because it just helps with the speed of things. Like, it gets things done. So in my ChatGPT, I have folders. Like, I brag about it. I have real estate, podcast, and the flyers. And then I'll be like, create me a game day post for today. Dun, dun, dun. And it just does it. It allows me to not think about it, but then I know it's there. But even if I use it, I do change it a lot. I try to change it because sometimes I find it sounds too much like AI, right?
Yes.
But with the hockey team, it's different, I find.
It's great for idea gathering. Like, even if you have a whole bunch of ideas in your head, you can sit down and say, these are my thoughts. This is what I want to do. Yeah. Can you come up with an outline?
I used it in real estate the other day, and I haven't used it in this capacity I use it a lot for write me a caption for my Instagram based on this photo. This is kind of what I want to say or touch base with. But I was like, I need this letter written, and here are the points that I want in it. And I did not have the mental capacity to do it, but I knew I needed to do it. And I was like, write me this letter for this situation. And it wrote it. And I was like, edited it.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
yeah. You gotta edit it so it sounds like you.
But I do use it. I think
I used it for a sponsorship. So we do our annual conference.
That's smart.
And one of the places that I applied to for sponsorship money, didn't get it, but still. So it had asked about this. I can't even remember the wording now, but I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So I went into chat and I'm like, okay, we're doing our annual conference. We have stylists coming from across Canada. The conference is about growth and learning and companionship and, like being better. We're looking for sponsorship for it. This is what they're asking for. Can you draft it? As our sponsorship agent, draft me, blah, blah. And the thing it produced was like, oh my God, Alex, so professional.
I know. I've used it for that situation.
Like, I've never even heard of this thing they were asking for. And then it was like, okay, now this is our new standard. Right? So it just levels you up. But again, and I think this is our talking point today. You have to put it in your authentic voice.
Yeah. Right? I agree. And yes, you do. You're right. Because in my real estate one, I had a human design reading done, and it was very brief. I should have a full one, but very brief. And it says, put this prompt into your chat GPT. And it says, I'm a 4-1, I don't remember what I am, projector, blah, 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 blah. And then create my social media post based on that. And because that's who authentically I am. And I've done it before where I don't use my human design. And then I say, no, align it with my human design. And it just sounds so much more like me.
Oh, that's so interesting. Is really I don't even know what human design is. It's like a whole kind of like personality type.
It is, but they use I think she uses your birth date, your time you were born, and location. It's kind of like
numerology, but a little bit.
But more definitive, I think. I don't know the exact term. I'm going to find it out. I will find it out and let you know. But a girlfriend of mine did it years ago, and she did me a reading, and I was like, okay, I didn't really understand it. And then part of this meditation group I'm part of, she had Tuesday nights, she has these people come in and speak, and she had Tiffany, I think her name's Tiffany Jacobs, and she came in and you just provided, I think you just enter it online, and then I gave her mine. She's okay, what is everybody? It's a very long term, and she's like, what is your number? And I said 4-1. She says 4-1. She goes, I've never met a 4-1. And I was like, oh, is that a good thing? And then she messaged me after. She says, we need to talk about it. Just because it's a very rare number to be in human design. And I don't remember the term. I should get my phone and read it to you. But it's pretty interesting. Like if I read it to you,
you'd be like, wow, spot on.
I'm going to get my phone.
Okay.
It's right here, actually. It was really interesting. And I found it much easier to understand with her than anybody else. So let me look it up. So I do use AI, and I use that, but I use it because it's more authentically like myself.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Hey, you do, because it'll spit out words like, that are so not you. And it's like, who speaks like that? No, nobody, right? But I do like that it can take your kind of scrambled thoughts and put it into order, a great order. And then it generates other ideas, I find. I can go, oh, yeah, and what about blah, 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 blah.
And I think it almost starts the conversation with yourself.
Yes.
Right? But I agree with you. You need to be authentic in everything you do. And for me, this was a huge talking point, human design.
So let's talk about how you find your authentic voice and what you would define that as.
For me, I think it's just being me.
And hard. So if you think about your 20-year-old self, and you're
I don't feel like I've changed from
20 plus. Do you feel like, or even, younger, like, how does it develop? How do you step into it? Because I do not feel like I have the same voice now that I did.
I agree with you on that.
In my earlier years.
I agree with you on that.
Even in my 30s, I would say I'm a different person.
I think life experiences, maybe. life experiences. I think that for me, maybe the experiences I've gone through and how I've reacted to them, and then coming through it on the other side, and you're like, maybe I liked how I reacted to that. Maybe I didn't like how I reacted to that. Maybe I should have said something that I didn't say. But I think I talk from the heart most of the time, but I think I'm situational when I speak from the heart. I think it's more about the situation. Being younger, I think I was quieter. Maybe I was less myself than I am today. I think that life experiences and how I'm feeling will give me a more authentic voice, maybe.
I think for me, it's the feeling crappy about things. And like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
And what do I do about it, kind of thing.
How do I want to feel instead of how am I feeling?
Yeah. Or, right? Like, you know what? If I look back and I think about the different times.
I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah. Right. Like, I don't want to feel marginalized. I don't want to feel put down. I don't want to feel.
And what have you done to change it? Like, what do you feel you've done to change that or change over time with that?
I think it's
confidence.
I would say confidence was a long time coming with me.
I don't feel like I have that all the time.
Right. Yeah.
I still don't. And this morning was a perfect example.
And I think that's an up and down, right? I think, like, to say that you're confident all the time. No, it depends which situation you're sitting in. It depends what's going on around you. That feeling of overwhelm or underwhelm, right? I think that all affects your confidence. And maybe we put too much pressure on confidence. Because, you know, if you think back, like, would you feel different about yourself if you had confidence all the time? Maybe what makes us real is that we don't have confidence all the time, right? That we get to a point where we feel really confident in what we're doing. And then it's an opportunity to learn something new, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
either. I think maybe confidence for me comes from knowing something, like, and feeling like I know something. So I don't even know if that's confidence. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel good about real estate, so it's easy for me to talk about real estate. I feel confident in what I'm saying. I feel like I can speak my authentic voice. But then I look at that and I say, why do I feel more confident or authentic today in real estate than I did 20 years ago? And for me, I think that's come from experiences I've had in my life. So when I was 20 years old selling real estate, people were like, oh yeah, mortgage and interest rates in the 1980s. And I was like, I was 10 years old and playing with Barbie dolls. Like, I don't know what that was. And I didn't feel like, I felt like I was lying about what I was saying back then. Not that I was lying, but it's like, I was didn't
have that experience.
Yeah, experience. Belt. I didn't have I was getting a mortgage. I was buying my first home. I didn't have kids. Not that kids make you any different, but there was a lot of people that I dealt with that had kids that were experiencing maybe a upgrade in a home or like an upsize or a downsize, or I didn't have all those experiences behind me to feel like I can speak authentically. Now it's like, fuck, I feel like I've been through everything with real estate. I bought a home, I sold a home, I rented a home, I've refinanced a home. I've done it all. So for me, I feel that I've
grown into multi-generation and pulled back. And
today, Lucas is 20 years old today. I don't have a teenager anymore. Right. So I feel like I'm experienced. Yeah. So maybe I'm more authentic in that, where I don't feel like when I'm authentic, not that I'm not authentic about myself, but it's like sometimes I feel like I don't know. Like, I can speak authentically about things a lot, but then it's like, am I sure about that? You know, did I say it wrong? Did I do it right? Like, there's always something behind it. Where real estate, I don't feel like I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong, but it's different. I think for me, it comes from experiences and going through those experiences myself.
Yes.
So for that,
and I do think like that really helps build your voice and find your voice. Yeah. That you may not know it right away, right? And it's something that you're finding and you're building on, and it's okay to not be okay with it. The same voice that you had in your 20s.
Yes.
To be the one that you have.
You shouldn't have
later.
the same voice. You shouldn't. I don't think you should have the same voice. How can you have the same voice when you're 20 years old that you have today, or when you're 15 years old or 10 years? Like, how can you have that same voice? You don't have.
Because you're going to grow.
Yeah. And if you don't grow, then I think that's a problem too, right? I think you need to be able to grow. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be and that is a big point in my family, at least, is that there's always something to learn. You don't know everything. You need to learn something new every day. And it could be the silliest thing, but you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And understand that you didn't know that and that you're learning that. So I think you always have room to grow. I think you take from those experiences and it becomes who you are, because I think a lot of people talk from experience, right?
And
I do.
And so funny, because I was driving home, I was home to see my folks on the weekend and dealing with some stuff, and coming back I was thinking about my dad's 87, my mom's 85, and how many great memories I've been able to have with both of them. And I remember going for some therapy. I was probably in my 40s, and my life's journey has been marred by a lot of alcohol related issues, right? And so throughout all of the different decades, alcohol has been involved somehow in a negative way. So that has, changed my identity with alcohol for different situations. And so in dealing with some of that stuff, how it affects you throughout life, I was in this therapy with this lady, and she was teaching me about setting boundaries and setting, and I think it was a big eye opener, because especially as women, you are brought up to listen to authority, to, take care of, to always be there. And it was the permission to say no and to walk away and to set a boundary for yourself.
It's hard.
Right? It was, so right?
Hard.
Especially when it comes to family related stuff, because there is that intention. And so one of the things that she said was to cut ties with. And I went home and I struggled with that for many weeks.
Sure you would. Anyone would.
And eventually I came to no, that's not where I am at. That's not, I think, what will be healthy for me. I had a lot of conversations with Sean about it, and thought through the different scenarios and stuff, and came to a point where it's like, no, I'm just setting boundaries, and I'm teaching my kids to set boundaries, which was different, right? Like, it's okay to say no to things and walk away so that it keeps you safe. They can do whatever they want. Again, with the Mel Robbins, right? Let them. Yeah. Let them do whatever they want. You do not have to stay in that situation. Hard, right? And I think that was the biggest lesson I learned. But also, okay, here's a person of authority and education telling me, like, sever ties. And it just didn't feel right to me, right?
It's hard.
That was not her journey with stuff. Was much different from my journey with stuff. And so and I think finding your authentic voice comes into that, right? Like, yes, you're going to pull in lots of information from different people, but you have to do
what's right for you,
right? And it's trusting that gut, right? And I think when you're struggling and when you're back and forth, it's your gut telling you, okay, something's out of whack. And so it took me a while to figure it out. It didn't just come overnight. But I look back and I think, okay, if I had severed ties, like, I would missed out on decades of great memories that we've had, and we just needed to adjust situations to know what is healthy and what is safe and what is,
That's very, very smart of you.
Well, I don't think it's that I'm smart. I think it's just
very brave.
You
actually.
work through it.
Like, a lot of people would be like, okay, but to recognize what didn't work for you is very brave.
Well, and it's difficult because you're with a therapist.
Yeah.
That is.
And once again, not everybody's for everybody. Yeah.
Right? They're educated in this. And it's kind of like, okay, like, I can't do that. Yeah. And some situations you have to, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think too that, advocating for yourself at the doctor. Like you just say it like that, right? Yeah. It's like if something doesn't feel right and you feel like you don't. I was just talking to Jim about it. I said, I remember when Lucas was little and he had this like serum sickness, and they told me started here as a little rash, and then it went to his ear, and like it progressed over like 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and every day was getting worse, and on his neck, and then the last day he woke up and his whole side of his face was swollen. I was like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah.
Like I think I went to 3 or 4 different walk-in clinics. I saw I think it was by the 8th doctor's appointment, I was like, this is just not right. This is not right. And I think it's okay to be like, no, something's not sitting right with me. You adjust and you change and you go, okay, no, and you listen to yourself. But it's hard when you take it from professionals, right? Mm-hmm. But they're human too, right? They're human too. And they make mistakes and they don't know and they're learning and all that sort of stuff. But listening to yourself and saying, no, this doesn't work for me, and being okay with that is huge.
And I think learning that to listen to your gut I think that was a really important lesson in life. Mm-hmm. And that's that uncomfortable knot that happens.
No. It's scary. It's scary, though, because sometimes you're like, you want to listen to your gut, and then you're like, I don't know, is it going to cause, like, friction?
Yeah,
and you don't want to, like, ripple the water, and then you're like, okay, but it doesn't feel right.
Looked as the drama queen, or she's so much work.
But even in relationships. Like, I think for Paul and I this year was really hard. Like I've said it before, it's been a really hard year. Everything is moving in a positive direction, but this is the year I said, you know what, I need to express how I feel about certain things. And I'm like, I don't know what this is going to do. I don't know how this will sit with him, but I just need to tell him how I'm feeling. Right? And
because if you don't say stuff, it eats at you.
And I think sometimes the receiving end, everybody's different. So for me, I'm the type of person where I hear something. If I don't like it, I'll say it right away. Like, I don't like that. Or where I think with Paul, he sits with it a day or two. And then you have to be the person to say, okay, I'm going to say it. It may not sit well with him. Give him a couple days, and then maybe the conversation will come back, right? So it's both in saying it and receiving it. I think you have to be true to yourself too, right? Like even in that situation, sometimes I've even said in the last little while, listen, I get what you're saying. I don't really appreciate it, or I don't like what's going on, or whatever it is. Just give me a little bit of time. And then you sit with it and you're like, okay, what are they trying to say? What are they trying to do? You have to respect that. And teaching kids that is, I think, the hardest thing, because I don't think I've learned it all either, right? And I'm learning constantly. Like I'm trying to, you got to set your own boundaries, and teaching kids that, like, we're going through a situation and I tell Lucas, like, you know, you got to set boundaries or this and that. But I'm like, I then need to set boundaries within the situation. Like, it's easy for me to tell you to do it, but then you have to listen to the boundaries that I want to set within the situation and respect that, right? And it's okay. I feel bad at some points, but I'm like, no, I need this boundary in order to go on with my day. Because if I don't have this boundary, then I'm always worried about him.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard. It's a very hard thing to do. But I think you find that voice in the experiences you go through. And I think that you start to draw on things, like you said, that don't make you feel good, that you want to change how you feel. This is not for me right now. This is not how I want to feel. This is not what I'm doing. This is not what I want to do. And then you adjust. And it's okay to change, right? It's okay to grow and change with it.
Like, I think of Greta something Berg.
Is she on a housewife?
No.
She's not a housewife?
She is that young activist, environmental activist, who at a young age, like 15 or 16, was out. And so I think, like, at that young age, she found her authentic voice.
It's amazing.
Right? Like, so...
Why didn't I have that when I was 15 years old?
Or, so there are some people that are drawn to it very, very early and very adamant about it.
Where does that come from?
Yeah.
Like, what is different in their life?
That, I think, is a level of confidence that is strong. And so it'd be interesting to see why she had so much confidence at such a young age to go out and right, because you're setting yourself up for some
like where her parents like supportive of everything. Like, I don't know. That's interesting.
It is.
That'd be interesting to find out, like, what was her environment in order for her to feel that confident or that okay with going out and just speaking her truth.
Or is that innocence that happens in youth, that you're not jaded by the world and you know. But I think it's important to remember that your voice changes with you.
It does. And then I think, has your voice changed?
Oh,
like
yes.
you said, it's changed between the last, like, even in the last year, has your voice changed?
Yes, I would say definitely.
How about owning this business versus when you didn't own the business? Has your voice changed?
Yes, right? It has a different purpose. It's more a voice for others as well with that purpose, and on a mission to bring awareness to women in business, to, you know, to making women stronger. And definitely, right?
I think it's awesome what you do. I say that all the time because I find you have a bigger audience. Like, you have so many people you can influence or talk to on a daily basis, where it's just like me and my client or me and an individual, or like doing this to me feels like I have more of a voice than I've had before. I'm a very like one-on-one in all my businesses, whether I'm designing jewelry or talking to a real estate client. It's very situational where I don't have a broad spectrum. I don't go...
Well, and to like the voice for running a business, you are having a positive looking all the time face. Right? That voice.
Yeah.
We're here when we're sitting together. Like, this is, and it isn't that it's not like we're faking anything out there. It's just we're hitting the highlights because we're leaders.
But I think this allows us to show people.
Yeah. You know, that we're real, we're human, we have
Shit
emotions,
happens, man.
right? You know, we deal with lots of things as humans in a day. This is the person at the front of the parade that's got that flag going, like, hey, come on, right? Like, let's have some fun. And then
sometimes that flag goes down and we just cry.
Yeah, you still like, you still go to bed at night and
you
and
still
all that,
worry about stuff. We had a woman, female doctor, a young woman that actually met at a networking event last year at what's it, Women's Day event at Staples, and she's a young dentist, and she took over a practice in East Oakville, and she messaged us on our account. She's like, I like that one that you talk about when you have it all and you're still chaotic or whatever it was. And I'm like, yeah, it's so true though, right? Like,
and you know, we have started posting about this Nucking Futz podcast, and how many people have reached out to us. We're not even out there yet.
I know, it's awesome.
And because it resonates, all these things resonate, right? Like, you know, were you looking for your authentic voice when you were in your 20s or 30s, right? Like,
I think you're just trying to be you. Like, you're trying to find yourself.
Just,
and then when you become a parent in that mix, you're like, you don't have a voice for anybody but your kids, right? You're just like going and going and going and going. I think I probably found my voice more now that my kids are older, because I'm not speaking for them. Like, I'm not that I don't speak for them, but I just doing more for myself again. When I was younger, I had that. I was doing more for myself. And then you kind of give everything. Some people, like, I feel like I've given a lot, and, you know, you give that all to your children, and then you're like worried about that and doing all that. And then it's like, okay, coming back to real estate and coming back to myself, I think I've found a little bit more of myself like that, but it's hard. It's hard to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's still like every day, like talking about like being real. This morning I was like, you know, getting ready, and I was like, okay, it's good. Great. I had meditation this morning. It was a great day, and I felt so good about it. And then I looked at the time. I'm like, oh my God, it's 8:00. I'm like, oh, I got so much little bit of time. I want to do this and that. Jumped in the shower, threw some dry shampoo in my hair, got ready, and I was like feeling good. And then I was like, looked in the mirror, and I was like, fuck, why do I look like that? And like, you know, it's like, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm all like being authentic with it. It's like, I have this image sometimes of what I look like. And then I'm like, fuck, why don't I look like that in the mirror? Like, why? But I'm like, why does that matter? Like, why does that matter to me? I'm still going to go out today. I'm still going to have a great day. I'm going to do the things that I love. I got in my car. I went to Whole Foods, turned the music on. And then and it's just like, it goes away. But there's all these little pieces that come into play. And then I think more doing this with you over the last little while, I've been like, no, this is really who I am. And I don't really care. Like I think
care. We always do.
I care. Yeah. But then I'm like, I'm not really, I do care, but it's like, I don't want to care. Maybe I just don't want to care. And that's the hard part. And I'm like, you know what? I need to be true to myself. I need to be who I am. I need to just like be okay showing who I am and doing those things. So I think every day is a new day, but I try to be as authentic as possible every day. I try to be who I am, getting on Instagram, showing who I am. Like, you know, the biggest one last night, I posted this, Paul and I, our hands. And I'm like, do I post that picture? I'm like, I have a lot of tattoos. And I'm like, oh, I remember when I got my first tattoo and I was like, it was on my ankle. Nonsense. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to see it. They're going to think I'm away. But I'm like, but that's just who I am, right? This is who I am. I'm a realtor. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt. I'm a business owner. We're doing a podcast together. This is who I am. And I know. And I have tattoos, but this is who I am. And like, I was surprised how many likes I got on that post. I'm like, really? I'm like, hey, whatever. But it was more about just sitting in the moment, because Paul and I haven't sat in the moment. And he grabbed my hand last night and we were just sitting there watching Tulsa King.
I love Tulsa King.
It came back. It was so exciting last week. So Paul's like, I watched Wayward. Have you seen Wayward?
No.
Oh my God. I don't know. It's with Toni Collette. It's on Netflix. It is definitely very different. So I kind of binged that yesterday because it's been a weird weekend. And then Paul's like, let's just watch Tulsa King. So I watched that and he grabbed my hand and I was like, you know what? It's nice. And you forget those moments and it brings you back. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to post that picture. And then I talking about that picture. And then I looked at the picture and I'm like, why is my arm bigger than his arm? Oh. Like, I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, then you start
I saw the funniest thing. So I used to tell the kids all the time that I was going to get wings tattooed on here, like hummingbird wings, so when it wiggles, right? But I saw someone, they had this lady dancing like a salsa dancer on there, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so good.
That's hilarious.
And it's like, hey,
but I try to be. I think you try to be authentic.
We do, yeah.
Look at those
things. Because if you're not authentic, like you just and so one thing that boils me are women that are trapped in situations where they can't be their authentic self. Yeah. They're trapped in abusive situations. Yeah. They're held captive by the husband earning the money and they can't get out, right? And you know that they are not living their authentic self and they have to cow down and that.
Got to find yourself, right? Yeah. And I think finding yourself at every age is hard. And for me, like I say it multiple times, coming back to real estate, I feel like I have that power again, that I feel like I have control of my life. If anything else goes crazy, I have me. Like I wasn't, raising the kids. I did have brag about it. Don't ask me why. I did have my own self. I did have a business that I was running that still is very successful, but I didn't feel myself in that business. I felt like I was always just in my house creating jewelry, not like out and being a people person and doing the stuff that fills my cup. So coming back, it's given me, I think, a little bit more feeling of power, but it's also made me feel a little bit more who I am, so that when I do speak, I feel like I speak from the heart, but I think it's every day. It's situational. I think some days are good days. Some days are bad days. Some days I don't want to do anything. Some days I don't want to post. Some days I don't want to show people things. It's like, but the reality is this is my life. We had a comment on one of our posts last week and our marketing came to me with it, and nothing boils me faster. Really?
Yeah. And that is where I use ChatGPT the most, because I do too. What I really want to say and what they let me say are two very different things.
I've used it for that.
But those are the ones I love to, there is never an acceptable time to ever degrade anybody ever.
No.
Ever. Like, if that is your mission, go away. I was interviewed for one of the chamber awards one year, and the girl interviewing me said, so do you have like a mission that you live by? I said, well, I do, but it's probably not printable. She goes, oh, now I want to know it. It's like, don't be a dickhead.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that is a very basic human level.
For sure.
Right? Like, just don't.
No.
Just, what is the point? Like, these are all of your sisters, your mothers, your aunties, and you're sitting there cutting someone down.
Is that their authentic voice?
Right.
Like really, they're being authentic when they post that stuff? No, they're hiding behind something else.
Yeah.
So Alicia McCarville, we talked about her before.
Yeah.
I follow her, and this weekend she posted her and Scott in bed, and there was like this comment about her relationship, and he's a bodybuilder, or he works out, and she lives in a bigger body, and she talks about it, and I love it when she just gives it to people. It's just, she said something like the comment was something about like his sexuality and how he was faking it because he was with this person, and she's like, really? And then the best is he chimes right in. So, it was one of the things was about Nutella or something, like, I wouldn't be with a woman that eats Nutella for breakfast. She's like, I've never had Nutella for breakfast. And he's like, well, I ate Nutella off her ass this morning or something like that. And I was like, I love this guy. He is so supportive of her. He is amazing. And just like those comments, to have that in your life and to have those, like, that support is great. But it's so hard. Like I said, we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
I've never had that comment until like after we spoke about it. It was
right?
Are you listening or something? And I'm like, really?
And it just makes you wonder what is wrong with people. Right?
I don't know.
Imagine having that sense.
Can we put our authentic voice right back to them? Like,
I know, right? Like some of the
Instagram shut.
There's like some people that do the troll comments, and one person made a whole song out of it, and it's like, you know what? Like, what is wrong with people?
Thank you for joining us today at the Nucking Futz podcast.
If you like this podcast, please share by liking and subscribing. Feel free to leave any comments and reach us at hello@thenuckingfutz.com.
Just a reminder, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. If you are struggling, know that you are not alone. Please reach out for professional help.
You can join our newsletter at thenuckingfutz.com to follow our journey. Looking for Donna at work? You can find her great leggings and leisure wear as well at She's Got Legs.
Looking for me, Melissa Hall? You can reach me at Brag About It Jewelry, or I am Melissa Hall for real estate.